What it do, good people? It's that time. You know what time it is. That time we speak our mind about a couple of things that are happening around us. And this week, in this video in particular, we are going to be talking about what is actually transpiring within the EFF. We are going to basically just, give ourselves, the opportunity to speculate because no one actually has, the raw evidence of what actually is happening. But we can actually tell from the commander in chief's, speech that a lot is happening within the EFF as we speak. It sounds like, and Lozi could be also leaving the EFF because, I mean, we're easy, in that whole conference. You start wondering. I don't think I even saw him at the last press conference where Shivambu was actually publicly announcing his resignation from the party. I mean, these are some of the things that we are wondering about and wondering exactly what it means for the future of this glorious party called the EFF. I mean, everyone agrees, and I think every one of us can agree that although maybe we might not agree with a lot of what the EFF does in Parliament, the truth of the matter is that the EFF actually played a very important role in Parliament in terms of being the voice of the people, or a certain group of individuals which actually believe in their manifesto and ideology and how they want to go about governance. But in as much as that is so, we are seeing a disintegration within what we would have deemed to be the most probably morally, if we were to put it that way, morally sturdy or steadfast party of all. But it turns out that's not the case. I'm making this video not necessarily because I know more, but because I obviously want to think out loud. And even though I might be wrong at the end of this video, or maybe at the end of this week when maybe some of the facts are revealed as time progresses, the truth of the matter is that we are all just, concerned citizens of this country. And the reason why sometimes we come to these platforms to shoot this kind of content is to actually engage our communities, because we understand that if we don't engage them on platforms like these, then they are not listening. The EFF for me is reflecting South African politics and the hunger politics that are happening within this state. What we are seeing here is not necessarily a case of betrayal. It's a case of stomach politics. It's a case of stomach politics. A lot of us argue that Malema should probably, take a step back and lead from behind. I think he has done a lot for the EFF, but he has to get it has to get to a point where he lets it go and then takes a step back and gives it to someone else. I think he was supposed to have done that by now, given it to Shivambu, given it to Ndlozi. Because if he's going to be president for the next 20 years, what that tells me is that he's almost like some sort of dictator. You understand? He doesn't want to leave. I mean, he's giving he's giving Mugabe vibes. No disrespect to the old man Mugabe, rest in peace. But we need to understand that leadership is something that has to be passed on. It cannot be something that you hoard and you hold on to. You understand? Because once you do that, and especially within politics, which is basically a game of leaders. You have to at some point be able to let go of power and give it to other people. Does not necessarily mean that you are going to be useless to the party. No, it does not necessarily translate to that. It could translate to the fact that maybe you will be playing behind the scenes, just like Jacob Zuma is doing. Well, as far as Shivambu is concerned, we all know that his move to the MK, it is not promising. I mean, we all know that the MK is a tribal party, basically voted for by a lot of Zulu people. Shivambu is just a vendor, from Limpopo, and he does not have a support system within the party, except his political accolades. But we all know that in politics, accolades don't mean anything. We have presidents like, Jacob Zuma, who became president and have never really gone to any institution. So, intellectual capacity or academic merit does not necessarily guarantee you, a proper or maybe a successful political career. I think politics on its own is not a game of academics. It's more of a game of loyalty, betrayal, and all of these other things. But then it poses a question to us: what is the future looking like for the African continent if we have these small revolutionary parties that are fighting towards some sort of pan Africanist ideal? If they fail and if they implode within themselves, then what does it mean for the future of this continent? I believe that it's stomach politics is at play right here. People are hungry. People want opportunities, and people will do whatever it takes to get those opportunities. And with that said, it is very important for all of us to really take this opportunity to learn from the importance of us organizing also outside of politics, but organizing within business, within other fields such as engineering, business, and many other forms, or the arts, where we can be able to build some sort of autonomy and be successful. Because with politics and the Hunger Games, because it is basically like the Hunger Games, we don't know exactly what we are dealing with, and it really really discouraged me, in having faith in politics in general. It's not even about the EFF. It's just like, oh, where is this going? Where is everybody's headspace? What does it mean for South African politics? Because it just means that something wrong is going on. And we know that this could lead to a big plummet in the EFF voters, voting results in the next, general elections. This will lead to a very bad, result. The EFF won't be able to maintain this because Ndlozi and Shivambu are interesting key players in the movement, and they are very influential because they are very opinionated and they're well trained in terms of speaking in public and parliament and in the media. Those people were real assets. It's like it's like you can do whatever you like, but there'll always be someone like Messi or Ronaldo or Jordan in basketball, or LeBron, or you have whoever. These guys, there's just certain people who are just political elites, and that's what Shivambu is. That's what Ndlozi is. That's why they were able to capture the people's hearts. And Malema is going to have to find great replacements because he lost key players. It's like you are losing Messi or you're losing Ronaldo. Yeah, you can still win games, but you'd still lose, the credibility from the fans. We don't know where this is going to lead, but I don't see a very bright future for the EFF. I do think things. I do think that things will be looking a bit hectic for them, and they will have to. I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't. I hope it doesn't go, to the levels of PAC and Cope and all the other parties, because I think that's where it's headed. The new the new big player in this game is the MK party. Given that it doesn't, implode, looking at how things have been happening, the reshuffling of MPs, and the firing of 18 MPs or whatever the number was. This is what we are dealing with. So we need to really, really, as South Africans, really stop to think about exactly what this, point in our life of, a party that we believed was radical and had a revolutionary stance to take, and having its leaders split the way they are splitting. It is really sad. I'm posting this because I'm extremely sad. I'm really, really sad and disappointed at the fact that this happened. But I don't have a choice. It is what it is. So with that said, man, I hope you are paying attention. I hope we will be hearing, I think positive things, in the next few weeks, within our political landscape, and yeah, I just did this video because I haven't been posting a lot, but then yeah, I'm just a citizen of South Africa who's concerned. I'm not necessarily an intellectual graduate in political science or whatever, but I do have an opinion, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. So, with that said, peace and love. Let's keep engaging. One love.